private channel.
Here we go! It's time to do this once again! It's time to dim the lights and let the feedback build! 3 clicks and sticks! And we're ready to explode! We sing along!
This content is for informational and educational purposes only. You should not construe any such information or other material as legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. Nothing contained here constitutes a solicitation, recommendation, endorsement, or offer to buy or sell any securities or other financial instruments whatsoever by Draper Goren Blockchain, aka DGB, the presenter, or other associated parties for the content being provided. Please do your own due diligence and seek proper counsel.
Boom. Welcome to the DGB Show number 73. That's pretty awesome. I think
Bitcoin's at 105.
Bitcoin's at 105. Thanks for doing that for us, Nate. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for putting that up.
Yeah, that was great. Good job.
All day.
And if you're new here, go to dgb.vc, sign up for the newsletter. If you're an early stage startup who wants us to take a look or meet, the earlier the better. Contact us. If you're an early stage investor or interested in investing in early stage startups in the space, go sign up for the newsletter, connect with us, and let's hang out. But today is a fun day. We got Daniel on. It's been a little while since you were on the live stream. How's it going?
It's going good. Yeah. I'm in beautiful Southern California and excited to chat with everybody, give some updates, and just sync up. Yeah,
we hung out last week. Was that last week? It feels like it was months ago.
Feels like it was a while ago. Early last week.
Yeah, so we saw each other last week. We hung out. I saw Daniel pitch to a room full of people. We had a good time. But yeah, why don't you actually, since it's been a little while since we were on here. Oh, how's it going, Emilio? Emilio's in New Jersey. But it's been a while since you're on here. Maybe give a little background on yourself before we dive into hypermarket and see what's new.
Yeah, been a serial entrepreneur for most of my life. Got my accounting degree from Oakland University in Michigan. Born and raised in the Rochester Hills, Shelby Township area. For anyone that knows Michigan, moved out here about 3 or 4 years ago. I've got 3 kids. 2 girls and a boy, 10-year-old, 9-year-old girl, and then a 6-year-old boy. Been married for 11 years. Failed at a lot of companies. I sold my first company with an amazing founder and friend, Reed, who's now the co-founder of Hypermarket, one of the 4 co-founders. We have 2 technical co-founders and 2 operations product-driven co-founders. And that was 2020. Sold Purpose Prep to Silver Lake and KKR, who funded a private equity roll-up in the education space. So I was doing ed tech curriculum and building the content, and now we're the platform to help other people's content. So hypermarket.xyz is my new focus and venture that we're building. And that's a little bit about me.
Heck yeah. We've been spending a bunch of time with you. We're going to go into a demo of it, but we're going to have for this live stream a hypermarket page and whole setup, right? For I want to use the right term, but more than a page, right? Like a whole platform for all of the folks who tuned into the live stream. I mean, we just started, so the numbers are ramping up, but we got already over 1,000 people here. We're going to be having a place for you guys to communicate, hang out, and do your thing on Hypermarket soon. And what we'll do and then you'll dive in, and then we could talk about it more, and we'll figure out how we utilize it. But there's also going to be private chat for the members within the community, which will be really, really cool. And it could be asynchronous, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean only during the live stream, which is kind of currently what we have. But you'll be able to communicate with each other and stuff like that in between, which I think will be really awesome for people looking for co-founders, people looking for investors, and everything else in between. So it's going to be fun. But why don't you talked about Hypermarket being the platform for the content, right? You used to create the curriculum. Now you have a place for that. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of ideas that people create and have where they want to make money, right? And sometimes it starts with making money. Sometimes it starts with wanting to create meaning in their life, to have a purpose, to do something, right? To create value from an expertise that they have. And so if it's product manufacturing, you're going down the physical product route, which has a lot of kind of blockers, a lot of costs. There's fulfillment, there's manufacturing, there's shipping, there's all these different fail points that can also cost a lot of money. And so one of the things that I love to do and see is inspire entrepreneurs to create digital products, right? Whether they're selling their content expertise, they're a consultant, they're a coach, they're a counselor, or whether they're a digital freelancer that's building websites designs, right? And they need a marketplace. They need something that automates the relationships in one single spot. Maybe they want to just focus on their business and they want all that back office customer relationship communities. And so we've created that kind of one-stop shop platform that even if you don't have a domain, we let you launch off of hypermarket.world, a subdomain, right? Like dgbshow.hypermarket.world. And so we're in a really great space right now, and we're targeting some awesome features, but we are focusing on like podcasts, courses, lead generators. It could be a paid product or a free product where you're actually capturing like leads, ebooks. I can show you like communities. I can show you that too, Alon. It's a cool feature that I've wanted to show you that we now have out with multiple product types for people to launch.
Do you think hypermarket, who would you say it's best for? Like, is it best for coaches, right, that have their own platform that are training new coaches, right? Is it best for people in the real estate industry, right, that maybe they have organic content where they're trying to train up and coming people, whether it's on wholesaling or, their own coaching business, or is it more for like consultants? Is there a certain type of group here? Is it kind of for anyone in e-commerce?
We have customers selling in every single one of those that you just said. So consultants that are selling budget templates and they're customizing that. We have, right after this call, I'm on with a real estate friend who, does about 300K, 250K a year. And he's built a course that helps people systematize their real estate process so they can actually become a high earner in selling, residential real estate. So it's very specific. We have someone, Alon, actually, one of his family members, we met through another person, right, David, and connected us. And lo and behold, she's doing a cohort where it's much more of a live course, actually.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. So my cousin, she flips homes and she teaches people how to flip homes, and she's going to be using, or she is using Hypermarket. She has a cohort of people who she's working with right now, helping them identify if an investment opportunity is good, helping them learn how to do the financing part and how to go through the whole process of going from, just being into looking at homes on Zillow and Redfin on your phone to actually doing it. And showing people that you don't necessarily need all the money up front and all the stuff, like you get money from investors and banks and whatever. She teaches the whole beginning to end and help you, realize your dream of flipping houses and stuff like that. So she's using Hypermarket to do the classes, to have the content there available to the people in her cohort, and then maybe one day expand from that versus the way she's doing it now with,
It's cool how she's doing it, Alon, too, is because like just as an example to anyone who wants to start something that's listening right now, she was just like, I'm doing this, right? And then she already sold everything outside of the Hypermarket. She's like, I don't know how I'm going to fulfill this. So she can use our platform for free right now, and someone's already paid, and she can invite those users that have paid into her experience, which she created like a May cohort for 9 people. And, it's a higher ticket item, but like she's hand in hand walking it through with you. And it's such a great deal for what she's doing for these investors who are going to make $20,000, $30,000 on a flip. She helps identify it. She walks you all the way through down to signing and then even post signing. So what's cool is like, it doesn't matter if you're
I kind of want to do it. Like, I feel like we should have her on so that we could see the hypermarket platform, but I kind of want to go through her course. Cause like, doesn't everybody like their whole life, like look at homes and be like, oh, that's a good opportunity. Cause everyone has their own things that they like and whatever.
Well, she's done like hundreds of these too though, right?
Yeah.
So she knows which ones won't work and which ones will work. And then it's cool as she's been on here, she's like, I think these live shows, if I do these long enough, like it's kind of creating an online course that people could also buy that don't want to do the live course with me. So it's cool how hers is evolving, right? We started where she already sold it. Be pre-product, you've already sold it. You could utilize hypermarket in a lot of myriad of ways, and it's cool to see her use it, and then it kind of give her inspiration about how she may actually turn this into an e-course with her actual scheduled Zooms that she's recording.
Well, and like what we were talking about before, right? If you're in like, I always say this about schools. I always dismiss the value of school because I am who I am, right? It's also, some things work really well for some people. They like absorb it and they learn it and they do it in a way that's, aligns well with the conventional or what works for them. For me, that didn't really work. That actually doing it is how I learn things. But I didn't, because of the ways I felt about it, I didn't do school right. But the thing that I wish I did was do school right, not just because I think I would have absorbed the content better and maybe I would have learned some things. That's the point. But also I look at the people who did it right and I go, oh man, look at that community of people they have from their school and
I agree with
and
that.
the people.
Yes,
and this allows you to go, okay, I did a course about flipping houses with 10 people, or maybe it's 100 people. It doesn't matter, right? Or I did a course on something else, but we're using this as the example. Now imagine today you're at day 0 of your career. When you graduate, maybe you're at day 1 or whatever of your career. But on day 100, you have 10 friends that are also on day 100. Yeah. And you could communicate with them, continue talking to them, maybe share deals and things like that, or just advice and things like that. And this creates a more connected version of that we didn't have. Like, you had to be proactive, right? Like I don't remember who were in my business classes with me, but if I had a spot on the internet, it's like, oh, these are the 20 people. And oh, I remember that guy. We did the business plan for that small business together for that project. Oh my gosh, he works for this bank now. I got to connect with him.
Network effect is huge, right? Man.
Yeah.
It's like the Harvard, Stanford, these, it's these like cool cult like relationships that people build within their dorms, within their, right? Yeah. I think that cool thing is that people have something to share. And if you can share alongside and learn alongside others and a common goal, a common journey, there's reasons to stay connected and stay in good qualms with people, great relationships, right? Leave things right. It's funny, someone's staying in my Airbnb right now, Alon, to your point. Yeah. And we went on a trip together to Peru 12 years ago. And he's like, hey, you didn't go to Peru like in 2011, did you? But it's like this network effect. And he's a banker now. And he's like, and we're talking, I'm like, so what are you doing now? And like, I'm showing him hypermarket and he's like, he works for Marriott, and it's just like small world, right?
That's crazy. That's an interesting thing. You just dropped in. He works for Marriott, but he's staying at your Airbnb.
Exactly, dude.
No, that's just a random interesting tidbit that's nothing to do with what you just said. But
no, I mean, that's how I feel right now. I love Marriott. I'm a titanium elite, but I'm like, I stay at Airbnbs.
They just didn't have a Marriott where he's at. Come on.
Or maybe his Airbnb is just that much cooler. I don't know. Or I know. I'm just I'm a little bit trolling. It's an interesting thing, right?
I do want to go back to like something Nate said, because I think it's cool, like the segue of like what Karen is doing is really special. It's cool to be able to see her in that beginning stage of literally being an expert. And she knows she's an expert. I mean, her data, her output, her past, her experience, the successes show she's an expert. And she started. And you got to love people that start. Alon, David, I know Nate, you guys are seeing a lot of different deals, a lot of people who want to start something. Your goal is to find out who's actually going to not stop moving forward, right? Like,
well, we can't help it when it comes to startups and things like that. But the funny thing is, all of us look at what she's doing and go, man, we should start flipping houses. Like, because everyone wants to do that too, but nobody knows where to start. So that's a cool thing for her. But then, roll it back to everyone else who wants to start something. You guys, where you were about to go to, right, is you guys make it really easy to begin, right? You don't have to have your own like you can have your own website, but I mean, you don't have to have your own e-commerce website and learn technology and put together all the modules and do all the things that maybe I could do because I'm more technical and I've been a computer nerd since I've been in junior high, and I'm kind of old to be a computer nerd, you had to actually know how to do some things, not like today.
Right. Manually too. Manually.
Yes, manually.
Yeah.
To play a game, you had to know how to prompt, DOS prompt and do commands and look through the folder in there and look at which file you have to execute to actually start the game. And the games that we played weren't even point and click because you might have not even had a mouse on your computer yet, right? We were talking about this on another live stream. I played a game back in the day called Quest for Glory. And the first versions of that game, you would actually type the commands. Like you tell the character, talk to the goon, and it would be like, you walk into town and there's a sheriff and a this and a that. What would you like to do? And it would be like, you'd have to type in turn right, turn left, talk to person, like you would have to type in those commands. And if you misspelled the command or didn't do it exactly right, you can do it, right? It would basically, like in a game, there'd hopefully be good errors that like,
you just nailed it though. Like it becomes so easy to create something and earn and make a living off of doing that. And it can be in the beginning a side hustle. I think the things that last the longest are the things that you really truly love and have a passion for.
Yeah.
But even as I see Karen do it, I mean, that's how Purpose Prep, our first company, was started, was like live events and then recorded events and then more professionally recorded events that turned into curriculum, that turned into professional development, that went national. And so I love seeing it happen, Alon, and it's very cool to, like you said, make it easier for people to go from, step 1 to step 3 or step 10, depending how fast and how far they want to take it. And earn money though. Like the concept is how quick can you get a product up, create a value proposition and sell it to other people, and right now we're working on some really cool things with a no code site builder because we are commerce first. We can really beat out some pretty big, players in the market that are not commerce first. They're site builder first and commerce later. And we're commerce first with a site builder that will be done in the next month so that we can kind of take and go after, to go back to Nate's comment, who are you the best for? Consultants, course creators, right? Counselors, all of those people are building real estate. But I really want to go after people with a website. And I want to make it cheaper for them and easier for them to keep a website, maintain one, and then ultimately launch a product. Because why do you have a website? For information, for a blog? Well, you can launch a blog on Hypermarket, but sell the blog. What type of expertise are you giving? And that's where we're really excited. This next month, recurring memberships is coming out online, which is someone can actually have monthly, and the site builder. So the site builder is going to be just really cool. No code site builder.
We'll talk a little bit about the no code site builder because ultimately what you're trying to diminish for people is the bottlenecks and the hurdles when it comes to getting their product, whether it's a digital asset or it's a physical product itself, being able to go ahead and launch it and create it and put it live, right? You're trying to reduce the amount of barriers to entry that other platforms can have that can make it a little bit more cluttered or a little bit difficult to go ahead and set everything up, right? You just want people to go ahead and get it set up in under 10 minutes where you can kind of have everything up on there, have their page ready to go, and they can have that product already created, and now they can start getting signups.
So you're nailing it. Like obviously this site editor is going to be a huge evolution of branding. We want to be that Shopify for digital products, which Shopify, I think, changed the game for physical products by allowing you to control the brand and just they were behind the scenes and they were just the payment rails and the template creation. So once we have the site builder, Nate, we're going to bring on a designer and we're going to build 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 templates so you can go quicker to market, choose a brand, change the colors, and be up and running. Right now, you can be up and running selling a product in 15 minutes, but we want you to be up and running with your customized brand in 15 minutes. And you're nailing it. Like it's not just also speed. I want to throw one other thing out there. It's customization, right? People now, we want it the way we want it. We prompt ChatGPT, almost guiding it. You have to be careful with how strong you guide it, right? And so I think people that inherently want to launch something want it to look like it's theirs. They don't want to be stuck in an aggregator marketplace, but they want the availability to be discovered on an aggregator marketplace, but still have their own brand. So how do we create this both and ultimately, how do we make that inexpensive? Nate, I have talked to friends that are in the early stages of building, and they have to go to Kajabi and spend $2,500 before they've even validated that their idea is going to work.
Right. You know? When you bring up such a great point on the digital product side, because let's take Airbnb. I don't know, did you guys see what Airbnb announced? I think it was end of last week, how they are incorporating now more customization and tailored experiences. So if you want a private chef, you can go ahead and hire a private chef now through Airbnb. If you want, I think, decorations according to your stay, you can have someone help decorate and build a more event experience there. So they're trying to build in this customization. And I think that's such a great point that you bring up, because that's Airbnb from a real estate side, right? That they're trying to add in this customized, tailored experience. Now, what you're talking about from a digital or physical product side is the same thing. These people that maybe they just want to get their product up in under 5 to 10 minutes because they've created it, but they still want it tailored to real estate, beauty, right? Their consulting platform. And they can't go ahead and have it tailored to them in an efficient manner. So I love that. Yeah,
and you're
I just
using
wanted
words
to draw correlation.
You know, I'm an Airbnb enthusiast, both staying and hosting. It's the only place that I like to stay anymore. And we've got 3 that we host, and we love hosting people. There's someone always in one of our places, and they have hosting. Now they had experiences. So experiences like you have a hockey rink in your backyard and all the pads. You can have a 6-against-6 kids experience with hockey.
Okay.
Now they've launched services, but even all of those words you're using, like customized, when you say customized, you don't look like you, though. Customized means you can type in custom words, but you're stuck within an experience that doesn't look like you. Now, yes, you're discoverable on Airbnb's services tab, but I think that what is missing in the marketplace that exists across billions of sites right now is brand customization, completely white labeling out the marketplace or the thing that's powering it. And that's what hypermarket is trying to do. Is you got a brand, you can be your brand and not need us to be anywhere seen. And we'll make you look really good, really quick, inexpensively.
No, I love that.
That's
and then
cool.
the other thing too is you just rolled out the domain feature as well too. On
Can I show some of this stuff?
Yeah, that's what I was about to get to. Is maybe let's demo, and then we'll start asking lots of questions on the demo and everything
there
like that.
you go.
Hey, by the way, let's tell everyone. Let's do a little reset for a moment, because we're almost half an hour in, and we're at close to 5,000 people now. So we got a good crew watching live. If you are an early stage startup, right, like Hypermarket, when they first started, they came to us. Come to dgb.vc, pitch us your idea. It's never too early. We're here to help. But also, if you're an investor looking to get access to these companies at the earliest stage, come hang out with us as well. Sign up for the newsletter. We're going to we're setting up some private investor opportunities and events and lunches and things like that. And we're here to be your wingman also. So, but hypermarket.xyz is the domain name for Hypermarket. Let's bring it up here so Daniel can show us what you got. What's cooler, guys, this view or this view? Actually, I think the screen is bigger on the other one.
Easier
right?
to see.
Yeah, the other one.
Yeah, and we were one of those early stage companies. I just want to say, Alon, like you and the team, David Blaznik, like you guys have just been such an amazing VC partner. A lot of times as a founder, you want something in someone more than the money. If someone is willing to just give you money, that's great. If they think your idea is good enough and you think you can steward that money, awesome. But your team has just been like fantastic. weekly calls, always available. I talked to David later this afternoon. We have a call every 2 weeks. So if you are an early stage, company, I do, or someone that is, I think that deal flow is an important thing for VCs. And I think that they have an awesome team that can really help you, no matter funding or not. To be able to pitch to a VC is actually a blessing in disguise, because most of the time you don't even get to pitch to one. You just get a no decline email. So I think if you could sign up for that and do that, I think you'd be really happy to do that. But let's dive into some hypermarket. So hypermarket.xyz, you just go log in or start for free. We're advancing a lot of features right now. I just did a one-click login because I was already logged in, but you can log in with like Google OAuth or use just your email. One of the cool things about hypermarket is you may have more than one idea, or you may have more than one way that you want to present an idea. And so we have the ability for you to launch unlimited sites, unlimited projects, and unlimited products within those sites or projects. And so let's just go into one that's near and dear to my heart. I launched this workbook called the Purpose Workbook. I own the purposeworkbook.com. But let's say I didn't, and I just wanted to have a domain to get my idea up to send out on social media. Yeah. We give you the capability to have your own domain. So you can do purpose.hypermarket.world. So go grab your hyperlink right now. It might be worth something, right? I don't know if you can steal like google.hypermarket.world, but if it's trademarked, you may lose it. But you can try, try to reverse sell it to them. But you do that by you launch your site and you literally just put in the name and you put in your domain and boom, it captures it for you. And then you can change your store subdomain here. You can put in some SEO stuff. You can change your logo or your favicon, that little logo up here, your favicon. Yeah. And then you can even connect an external domain. So like I own Purpose Workbook. I could host this on purposeworkbook.com. So and then store navigation. You can change your navigation tabs, or you can add external links and put your social links and then add custom terms. So when you're on the site, you're looking at one that's a little pre-populated. I can zoom in or zoom out. Here's my 3 products. I'm giving you the first 32 pages of the Purpose Workbook for free here. So a lot of times as a digital creator, you want to get names, you want to get leads. And so this is one way to do that. Free consultation call, free ebook, free workbook. But then inside there, you can show some amazing 5-star reviews that you've had. You can put a video link. And this is something we're revamping to where with the no-code site editor, what's going to be really cool about this is you will have full customization capability. You will be able to make this look like whatever you want to look like with that site.
Do I have to have my own photos, Daniel? Or
I think that there's a few like Unsplash. You don't. So like if you are a startup and you like want to like do a digital book and you go to unsplash.com, unsplash.com has a bunch of really amazing images you can download that are like 100%.
Okay.
100% commercial free rights on Unsplash.
Yeah. And pexels.com too, pexels.com as well.
When I generate a site through your site, it's not generating and providing photos automatically, right?
No, it's not. No, you gotta come up with those. We create the framework, but you have to kind of do a little bit of the heavy lifting to make it meaningful for the people that you're going to share it out to.
For your brand and everything else too. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And I mean, for us, you could see it right here. I'll go into this workbook really quick here, my free workbook. I have an unlimited capability. You can have a limited quantity, but there's a bunch of kind of cool variances you can create. But dragging or dropping the images in here, like I have the workbook, so it's like a real thing that I've already gotten all these photos from, David. So that's where like I can make it look really cool and meaningful. And now you could use like an AI generator tool as well to create images. There's another way to do it,
or you can pay for templates online too. So there are ways to get templates to make your like PDF look like a real workbook and stuff like that.
That's right.
But that's not what this is, right?
Yeah, this is more like, and I think there will be probably a reality in the future to where we create like a creator tool that helps you, refresh your digital object or your digital product. But this is more of like how you're going to launch it. Is it free? Are you going to launch it as a price? Is it going to be a subscription? Can someone purchase multiple of them? So you can limit them to only purchase one. You can limit the overall quantity. You can customize your sales button. You can upload thumbnails, cover thumbnails. And then your exclusive content is the automated fulfillment after the product sells. And so this is something that's really cool that I wanted to show you. Alon, I know that we've talked about this a few times, but different product types, man, like just people have lots of ideas, and we can start to customize these paths, right? If you're launching a blog, you can do it for free, or you can do it exclusively where it costs $5 one time, or in a month, we'll have $15 a month you could have someone pay. But these are cool new ways to where then as a person launching a blog, if you're like a creator on our site, you could be like, dude, you're missing this, or I wish I had that. We can customize these product paths for you, which will be really exciting and amazing. We have this other thing called posts. And so think of a post as additional resources or content that's available after someone purchases something. So you can apply a post to any product type or any product. And so you can create 30 posts. And that's something that I know DGB Show did. You have different shows. So every show is a post, and you can put different images and banners, and we can even pull that up if you want. And then we aggregate all of your customers. Like, the more you have sales, you actually start to aggregate everyone on your list. And so the future will be like internal messaging and being able to send emails through the system, which will be a really cool feature. And then, of course, everybody loves the finance tab, like, what's sold to who. And we have this just really cool enablement and capability where you can like go to people's profile and you can see everything they've sold, everything they've bought. You can see all of their stores. And so you can kind of go around and start to learn about your users and who they are. And this is just the beginning of where the platform is going. I'm just touching the cusp as well. We could like go into building a product.
Yeah. So you can see what they bought from other providers?
You can right now. So like one of the things that you have the capability as a buyer to hide those items if you would like.
Okay, you do. Okay, that's what I was wondering.
People want to flex. Like, people want to be like, I was one of the first to purchase that, the May cohort. Like, I truly was OG. If you're a music creator, I mean, imagine launching a digital product as a music creator as a limited quantity and having your user base be able to show that they have that. And again, as we continue to fundraise and get more devs and build more features, like one of the things we've always wanted to do is resaleability. So imagine someone buys your song and then can resell it. That's going to be a really, really cool moment. But that's just like an idea of like a digital product that I think would be really cool to like flex and show, like, I own this thing,
Well, some experienced real estate person might not want to show that they just bought the beginner course on real estate.
Say that again.
Some experienced real estate person might not want to show that they just bought the beginner course on real estate, right?
Correct. So they can hide that. They absolutely can hide that. So we have this whole like public profile concept and manage accounts. So like you can manage your subscription with our company here. You can remove the watermark. You can connect your domain if you go to the professional. Soon will be memberships on here, and then higher customization features. We're adding in referral program. We've got a really cool roadmap ahead of us, and I can talk a little bit about the roadmap later. But like, you can
was there a community aspect that Alon was touching on?
Yep. Yeah, I'll show you that as well, and then I'll show you the public profile. Let's see if I can show you where I can hide something. There we go. So when I buy something, if I want to hide it, I just toggle that, and I can hide it. Right there. So kind of cool.
Yeah, very cool.
So yeah, you asked about community. So
yeah,
let's go into.
It sounds like a really cool feature.
So these products right here are my podcasts. So I actually,
by the way, there was a killer episode with Blesnak on it.
Yeah, there was.
Everyone's got to check it out.
Artist Success. That was, was that on? I think that was Wavelength. You're right here. So I basically moved my whole website over here because I was spending like $50 a month with GoDaddy, and the main purpose of my website was to host my podcast. And I'm like, well, what the heck? I'll just host it on Hypermarket and save that after paying $600 a year for 10 years. But you asked about community. So when you launch a product, you can launch a community, which holds the space for people to actually engage with a group where you're putting out posts, where you're putting out updates. And a feature that's kind of earlier on our roadmap is commenting as well. So commenting would be people being able to have discussions, right, within a community.
Yeah, that's really cool. And can we see any community yet, or is there any active ones yet?
Yeah,
or you
so
guys
like
just launched it, I know. So
Do you
Yeah,
mind me
let's do
showing
it.
this or no?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool.
This is we can kind of build live because we're starting to build it, but it's not we haven't shared it with anyone yet.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can go to dgbshow.hypermarket.world. And then it's going to forward you over to community because you launched this as a community. And what I think is really cool about this is Nathaniel, today I was on the call with the devs, and the devs were like building the no code site builder, and they had all their like getting parity with currently what we have to the no code site builder. And they're like, well, let's make sure to do the, Spotify embed for DGB. So we'll have the Spotify embed so then I have to go to a separate link soon. That. But you go here and because I own the item, I get exposed to all these posts. So when you're on there, once you get access, which is free, all you have to do is click free and put your email in and you get access to these exclusive shows. Then you can click on every one of these shows and they're going to upload more and more shows. And you can tune in and listen and learn a little bit about who this person is. And so the DGB show would be a community. So that's one of the cool things about it. And accessing that exclusive content is all the show types.
And then the chat function is the chat and the no code site builder are the two things being focused on right now. And so that's the cool thing.
Yeah, I'll tell you the few. So one, recurring memberships, just because Karen and several other customers, we've had over 67 that were in our alpha access. And I would say that more than probably 30% of them wanted recurring. So recurring is one. The one right after that is the no code site builder, which both the devs are actually, dividing and conquering on those two items at the same time. And then we're going to do the commenting and the integrations. And so the commenting and integrations, the reason we think those are really valuable is just because people want engagement. Like DGB Show wants commenting, and probably more than 50% of the people want commenting on the list. From our team, it's not an easy one to do, but we're gonna tackle that one. We had to do a lot of back end changing, but then integrations with Zapier. So anyone that knows Zapier, like you may have a bunch of systems you tie together. Like after they buy a product, I want them to sign a contract, and I want it to come from Sign Now or DocuSign. And then after they do that, I want them to go to a scheduling link. Zapier will create all these powerful capabilities for that, and then help advanced users who do like webhooks, who want to really trigger like customized interaction.
And it doesn't even have to be super customized, but the thing about Zapier that's cool is that you could be like, I use MailChimp for my newsletter, and I just want to connect to MailChimp. And even though, and again, there's a million versions, there's HubSpot, there's a million different newsletter providers. Thanks to Zapier, you can connect no matter which one you have. You don't have to contact Daniel directly and be like, I really want Hypermarket to add, my random newsletter supporter. Zapier has a connection.
You are nailing it, Alon. And you don't have to be technical, right? So we don't have to keep up with every feature, because those features all become capable, and you don't have to be this like coder to actually bring them together.
Or like also just industry. It sounds like, oh, why wouldn't they just connect to MailChimp? Most people use MailChimp, because every single one of these people is going to be in a different industry, right? Daniel was selling the Purpose workbook there, and my cousin Karen is selling a real estate thing. And what if she wants to have her newsletter or get all of the people who purchase her product access to some real estate database tool? That wouldn't make sense ever for Hypermarket to do that for every single industry and every single product. That's why Zapier exists.
Yep. And I think like when you think about like some of the competitor landscape overlays here, there's a lot of exciting platforms that are trying to be that back office all in one. And I think we've talked, they're very expensive and or they're more advanced, right? But I think also you think about that web builder, the first part of launching an idea is you got to get passionate about this idea. You got to find a system that can help you go step by step. And then you need a website, and then you just launch your product. Sometimes the best product to launch and sell is the one that you can launch and sell and then make it after you sell it, knowing that you can fulfill a promise you made. And so I think there's like a lot of really cool parity in what we're creating with like Webflow and Framer and these e-commerce no-code site builders who and even you could say Squarespace that has some commerce capabilities. And I know Webflow, but they're very limited. Like this is one where you are going to know your users. your users are going to have a unified identity across all sites that they utilize, where it actually tracks what they own, how they participated with you, when they've bought something, when they've resold something that they bought from you, if you enable that, right? Like the long-term ecosystem that you will have, that we are a commerce first, no code site builder and back office system, is really powerful. And there's a major opportunity in the market for this, to have your users have this type of identity within your system.
Yep. Yeah, it's really cool. It's going to be really fun to host our community in there. So I can't wait to get that up and running and start sharing it with everyone and doing all that fun stuff. Yeah,
we've had some cool use cases too, like even like a physical handyman that made $20,000 selling $1,000 packages to people, right? And then upselling them and making them buy more. But like, there's some people that have made some real money in the system. A gentleman who launched a really cool, like, he had done like hundreds of podcasts, and then everybody's like, well, how do I do a podcast? So he created a course on like how to actually create a podcast, like on budget, and what mics to buy, and so he's made several hundreds of dollars, and he built that course and sat on it, Alon, for 8 months and made $0. And within less than like a week and a half of having it on Hypermarket, he sold it 4 times. So
nice.
That was pretty cool.
That is really cool. I think
I'll chime in. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Nate.
I was going to say, I'll chime in a little bit since we're still kind of on the course and the chat function. One of the things with having part of our DGB community, our DGB show community on Hypermarket, is want to have an avenue that makes it a little bit easier for our community to engage with one another and also to communicate. And so by having our podcast episodes be listed through Hypermarket's platform, we want it to be a little bit easier, where you guys can communicate with us, we can communicate with you, we can respond on different things, because most of our stuff is always live. And so I think that's one of the biggest things on why we want to have our community there. It's just that when we do have our recorded episodes and they are posted after they've been recorded, we want to at least have a way where you guys can ask us questions, engage with us, provide some feedback on some of the episodes, on what you guys would like to learn more, what we can provide more insight on for you guys going forward. And so it's also us trying to find ways to engage with our community as well in a more efficient manner, and also appeal to you guys and things that you guys are curious about. Alon, Rankin, they're on the front lines on what's happening in the marketplace, in our industry. And so sometimes we don't go ahead and go into some of the details, right, that maybe you guys want. And so that's why we want to have our DGB show community on Hypermarket's platform, so that you guys can communicate with us and then also provide some of those insights, so we can end up relaying that information back to you guys in the best way we can.
Yep.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm excited for that as well. I'm excited to make that more dynamic. Been loving working with you, Nate, too. Incredible feedback. I know you've done stuff with digital products, so you've seen a lot of our competitors and experienced a lot of the frustrations, and we're able to like reaffirm a lot of our directions with it as well. So really cool.
Well, yeah, and I'll chime in on that. So I've experienced with Standout Store, understanding Kajabi, platforms like that, Zapier. Zapier is more for the automations, setting up the system process. But when it comes to creating a product, especially digital products, you have stores right now that are getting the most buzz, of stores like Standout Store, right? And what Daniel's talking about with Hypermarket creating the no-code website, being able to go ahead and have that functionality. What he's ultimately talking about is on Standout Store and on Kajabi, you have it where once you go ahead and set up your account, then you have about 5 to 6 templates on there, but they're not necessarily customized or templatized for your industry. For example, we had brought up, coaches, we had brought up real estate wholesaling, we had brought up consultants, some coaches might be in fitness. Out here in California, it's big in terms of fitness, nutrition. It's a big avenue right now when it comes to coaches. And so what he's ultimately talking about by the no-code site builder is being able to have it where it's customized, where instead of on Standout Store, you have 5, templates that you can choose between and change the color. You're going to have a plethora of more where you can go ahead and have it go ahead and be customized to actually your industry and some of your products and that design. And so that's one of the cool functionalities with it. And that's why Daniel's kind of talking about having experience and understanding some of these other platforms and what their functions are. It's great, but if we can get you guys up and running in 10 minutes or less, and you have a no-code site builder that has it customized, that's great, right? Now you have it customized to tailor to your industry, your product, and what you're trying to communicate to your audience. And so,
and your brand, right?
Absolutely.
So cool.
Absolutely. Daniel, I want to go back real quick. I know we have about 10 minutes left. Talk about just speaking at the Draper Summit and just being able to speak there. You've had experience with speaking. What was that experience like, being able to go ahead and present on a second product? Now you've sold a product in the past before, a previous company. Now being able to go ahead and market a second company now. What was it like being able to speak recently in front of people?
Yeah. So for one, such an honor to be there. Thank you, Alon. Alon actually, Alon and David made that happen. So again, going back to like when I said, the DGB team is a family. They're people that when they believe in your idea, they're going to get behind it and spend a lot of time and energy. And they're a group of individuals who've, been founders and have seen a lot of founder struggles. And so they know that a good founder has to be able to pivot a whole lot of times and has to fail a whole lot of times inside of the current idea and company that they're creating while pulling all of that knowledge through. And so, speaking was I say all that to say, speaking at the DGB event, I'll categorize it in two things. One, the people, the group, the experience, and two, the timing, right? So for us, for the timing, it was really amazing because I feel like we're fumbling less about exactly who we are and who we're competing against. And I really could be refined and got a lot of really great contacts and people coming up to me like, hey, here's, can you pitch to me? Here's my email. Let's talk. You're right in the industry, specific place that we love to play. So the timing was perfect, Nate, because of where we're at, what we had resource wise in the delivery of it. And it's just like super fun, like being in front of people, vibing, sharing your idea, having only 5 minutes to pitch something in a big room of 40, 50 people. So that was cool. But then on the people side, it was Draper's 40-year anniversary. And I've always heard about Draper. I looked him up as one of the top 10 holders of Bitcoin, as an individual, 38,000 Bitcoin. But then when you see this guy live and you see the people he attracts, I've been in a lot of these environments and it's just high quality people, high integrity people. There's not a lot of the whole BS vibe. It was where like a lot of scammers. It was more like quality people. His dad's there, his wife's there, his kids are there. He invites, the top 40 years of his top 40 investments. He's created 10,000 multimillionaires or millionaires. He's created 20 billionaires. He's created one of the richest people in the world. He has 487,000 jobs that he's developed, $3 trillion in economic value that's being generated through these companies that he's invested in. He's got his Bitcoin tie on and he's just, he's approachable. He's got these crazy looking eyebrows that he doesn't trim. And he puts into a certain thing and he's himself, dude. He is himself and he is up there.
I'm looking on my superpowers myself. It's just, I'm almost there.
And you got to just love a group of people who are celebrating being authentic, being true. And dude, he's believed in the big ideas and he sees the future and you got to honor that. So just from all the conferences I've gone to, you never know which ones are going to be really valuable and amazing. And that was the one that obviously was an exclusive invite only. So that kind of helps a lot. But it was just the most quality people that I've ever interacted with at a conference. It was unbelievable, bro.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that.
I'm super glad you came, and this time, just behind the curtain, it was like a quicker thing too for all of us. It was the day after Mother's Day, and we were all traveling in and traveling out and doing that whole thing, and it's very fast this time around. But it was a really, really kind of inspirational event, but also just a really great crew to spend time with and hang out with. We had a lot of fun with Joe from Lunar Crush, who was there too, and everything else, and the setting was great. great and everything. So it was awesome, and it was fun hanging out and being around all those people and seeing you talk about what you're working on in the pitch and everything else. So that was really super cool.
One other funny thing, Alon, when I was in
Yeah.
a group of meeting Draper and, interact with him a bunch of times, cool. Just that he's accessible there and his capacity to talk to all these random new people with a smile on his face for 12 hours a day, 3 days in a row.
You don't do it at that stage in your life and all that if you're not just super into it. And
this guy's a boss, dude. So he pulls out his business card. I'm like, I'd love to still show it to you and get feedback. And he's like, oh, look it. You got one with Bitcoin on it. So he's got Bitcoin.
You better take that Bitcoin off of there because you just showed us the QR code.
Oh, did I? Whoops.
I don't know. Is that for to
no,
access
no. The back is the real.
Okay. Don't show.
But the whole point is it's just the guy is he's just still flowing, at his age.
He handed a business card with Bitcoin on it.
Straight up, and it's like, oh, you got the lucky one. It's just like.
Wow, that's impressive.
Now Rankin wants it.
This guy's handing out $100 of the Bitcoin or $1,000 of the Bitcoin if you hold it. It's like I'm just saying.
That's so cool.
He's a
That's
cool
a
guy.
Flex.
That's epic.
Yeah, very inspired, Alon. Again, thank you. That was so inspiring being there, man.
By the way, of course, man. I think that something that we don't talk about much, and it's weird to talk about yourself in these situations, are how this is a great example of kind of how we work with our companies. Every single company is different, and every single company needs different things and applies in different ways. But as a fun example, right back in the day, I used to talk about, I made a WordPress cryptocurrency exchange plugin. Right. And it was just a side thing that I did, but it was partly a side thing. So people who know the story know that David Blesnak, my partner on DGB, he founded a company called Total, which was the first decentralized exchange aggregator. Think about what people use 1inch or 0x for today. They were the first people to do it. They predated them, to route your trade to the best possible decentralized exchange. And when I first met them, because I used to use WordPress to create websites and things like that back in the day, right? For the last 20 years or so, I was like, you should have a WordPress plugin. So anybody who writes content about crypto can have a DEX built into their site. And they're like, yeah, that's on the list. But I think they had more important things to do, all of the decentralized building that they were doing, right? And after a couple of years of telling them they should do that, eventually, I think it was 2 or 3 nights, maybe it was beginning of COVID, or maybe it was just, right before that or so, where I stayed up really, really late at night and figured out how to do it myself and built my own decentralized exchange plugin. Turned out that within weeks, there were thousands of installs of their decentralized exchange across all this content in our space, including some big publications in our space who are built on WordPress, right? Just like most blogs, who added this feature to their site because I made it so that you can choose if you want to.
That is, I've never heard this story. That is freaking insane.
Well, what was funny about it is that they ultimately sold their company, and the company that bought them had to turn off some of the features and things, and so all of my DEXs broke. And so I still, Rankin and I talk about all the time, maybe we should go in there and rebuild the plugin. But we'll maybe. But we spend our time building and working on our portfolio companies' products, right? We are your wingman here, not just in the traditional sense of a VC, the best VCs all make introductions and do things like that. Of course, we do that stuff. But we're so early, right? A lot of times we are the first check into a company when it's just 2 people and an idea. And we're here if you need us or when you need us to be your wingman in every sense of it, right? And that means, right, you'll be hearing about going to our hypermarket community and hanging out with the community. But also, it's really cool when we get aligned with one of our portfolio companies who are building products that we really, really want and need. I mean, it's hard to invest and believe in something that you don't believe in or want or need, right?
I think one of the exciting things talking to a lot of these portfolio companies like Daniel, right, is we actually play with the tech. And so many people are just used to a VC just writing a check. And yet, but we like speak the language of DeFi. We speak the language of crypto. We speak the language of web design. And because we play in the space. And like, I was talking to a group of guys who are doing some stuff, deep in stuff last night. And we started talking about, I've been playing with building like an AI app. And he's like, that is freaking cool. Like, so discussions, like we can actually have these conversations with the people that we're investing in because we literally play in this stuff like on a daily basis. Right. Yeah. So we're not just writing a check. We want to participate. We want to help people like Daniel and like other small companies like grow and like provide feedback and see where
we have creative sessions to your point, right, David? Like we've had creative sessions to where it's feedback, hey, what about this? What can your AI tool do? We just had this with Nathaniel and Raj.
Exactly.
Like, it's very useful, very helpful.
Yeah. That's my favorite part of it. Right. Working with you guys and helping to generate ideas as to, hey, how can we improve stuff and build?
I absolutely love it. And before we finish off, because we have a hard stop in like a minute, I'm just reminding everyone, go to dgb.vc and connect. But hypermarket.xyz, where else can people follow you, Daniel? At Daniel Budzinski on Twitter. Yeah. You can see it. It's been below the whole time, but where else?
Yeah, Instagram, you can send me a message there. You can send me an email, daniel@hypermarket.xyz. But if you create an account, reach out to us. Would love to build out your product with you. We're in the stage where we're hands-on. So would love to help with your creative idea, with your course, with your blog, with your podcast. Alon, David, Nate, thanks so much for having me here. Really hope we have a great following and showing and people enjoyed the show.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll have you back, of course, along the way. Thanks, everyone. Guys, any last things before I hang this one up?
Nope, you got it.
All right. Follow the rest of us. You see the things on the screen. All right. Peace out, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks.